You have Joe Espada, who started the season off last year with the worst imaginable start. They overcame it, which is impressive to say. Being down 10 games in the division, that's good. But then to end this season the way you started the previous season, just being a total disaster and missing the playoffs, and it wasn't just because of injuries. It's because your lineup didn't perform and your pitching wasn't as good as it needed to be at the backstretch of the season. I would have made a manager change. It feels like to me he's lost the clubhouse in a way. Clearly, they don't agree.
Okay. I think if you would have lost the clubhouse, I think he would have been gone. I think there's enough alphas in that room that would have, talked to Jim Crane. Like I think Correa would have went up to Crane and be like, "Hey, man, we need to make a change." Yeah, and look, I don't think either guy. We talked about this. I don't think either guy deserved to be fired. All the injuries that they had, excuses, I know, but it is reality. Like if they stayed healthy, they're in the playoffs. They're probably one of the top 2 teams in the American League. So I don't think either guy deserved to be fired. The question that I would have is, do they instill confidence in you, in their positions? 713-780-3776. I don't think a manager's job – I don't want to phrase this because I don't want to like poo-poo on managers because I do think managers are relevant, obviously. I think they're substantial. I think they matter. I do think that Major League Baseball managers, though, impact your win-loss record a lot less than NFL coaches or NBA coaches.
Agreed.
I think the biggest importance for a Major League Baseball managerial job is actually, keeping the clubhouse in control. Like making sure the clubhouse is good, that personalities are okay, that everybody's happy, that everybody's kind of, on the same page. Like what they do managerially between the first inning and the ninth inning, that stuff's not that difficult. Let's be honest. Like we all know strategic moves. Like do we differ on a couple of things throughout the course of a season? Yes, but that's pretty minute in the grand scheme of things. I think how they handle the clubhouse is the most important thing. And it's not like that I think Joe Espada is a top 10 manager. I think he's probably middle of the pack. But between the two guys, I think that Joe Espada is a better manager than I think Dana Brown is a general manager.
Why?
Dana Brown hasn't really done a whole lot that I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like he came in, we're going to sign guys when they're young, and we're going to lock people up because that's how we did it in Atlanta. He did it with one guy. He did it with Christian Javier. Missed the boat on doing it with Jeremy Pena. He's got the scouting eye. Oh, Jeremy Pena is 3 years. It doesn't warrant a contract extension. Well, you have the scouting eye. You should be the guy that's predicting the future better than any of us. And that's what the best GMs do is they predict the future. They nail their evaluations. They nail their scouts. Why wasn't Jeremy Pena locked up? He was trying to get something done after a hot start, and then Pena's like, hold on a second, I'm going to go hire Boris and then just go ahead and put a stake in that. That's not happening anymore. We don't love Yiner. Yiner may be one of those guys. Like, if he takes off next year, this offseason would have been the time to do it. Maybe he does. Hunter Brown. They missed the boat on Hunter Brown. So, like, Dana Brown came in saying all that stuff and then didn't do it. He talks a lot. Not that that's really, like, tangible, but, like, we're going to get a left-handed bat. Never picks up a left-handed bat until the deadline. Left-handed bat that he picked up wasn't any good. And now he's talking about signing another left-handed bat and wasting all the money that they have under the CBT. The Kyle Tucker trade, I don't mind the Tucker trade. I like the Tucker trade. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna trip on you. I like the Tucker trade. Now, how they handled Cam Smith? Christian Walker, $60 million, 3 years. I mean, I don't know what Dana Brown has done to inspire a lot of confidence in you. Like, he's picked up some middle relievers that are all right.
To me, it feels like he's worked within the constraints that he has from his owner, to be honest. I mean, I think Christian Walker's the one move that I would say is a bad one that Dana Brown has really made. And, yeah, he overpromised a lot. Honestly, I kind of view it as he made promises and said he was going to do things that he, frankly, just is not allowed to do. They don't sign any of these guys to long-term deals, it feels like. There's a couple. You mentioned Javier. They signed Jordan early. They signed Bregman early.
No. He didn't sign Jordan early.
No, I'm just saying, like, as an organization.
I just want to be very clear that was not his move.
As an organization, like, they haven't really gone out and locked these guys up early. So, has he tried?
I disagree. I mean, I disagree. Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Lance McCullers, Jordan Alvarez, Christian Javier. Like, you're not going to hit every single one of them. Like, that's almost half a dozen.
You're right, but there's also there's Correa and Springer and Tucker and all these other guys that have walked.
You're not going to get them all done.
Yeah, I know, but, like, it's just not something they do. Like, they don't. I guess it's 50-50. I guess it's a little bit less than 50-50 because I probably have more guys on my side that walked away without getting the rookie contract extensions than guys that signed them. But I just don't know if Dana Brown even has the ability to do it because they don't spend money. Like they're not going above the CBT. So is he allowed to sign Jeremy Pena?
That's also untrue. He's went over the CBT the last 2 years.
Only for like big name players, not for the little guys.
That's not what you said.
But like it's only for like the big name guys. It's when he goes over. He's not going over when they extend Pena. So I don't even know if Dana Brown is allowed to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Like I mean, I'm not privy to those discussions.
You're not wrong. Like he made all those promises that he was going to lock up. He named all the guys you named by name. He said Kyle Tucker is going to be an Astro. Yes. He said Alex Bregman's going to be an Astro. He's talked about Hunter Brown. I don't think he said that about Jeremy Pena. But maybe he has. He hasn't followed through with any of that stuff. So I get your point of like why there's not confidence in it. But to me, he's done enough in the margins that I see where he can be a good GM for the Astros. The big one I only really hold against him is Christian Walker. That move's awful. That's his
biggest
move.
swing, though. Like that's the thing. Like you can't say. I mean, I guess you can't say that. Like that's the only thing you're going to hold against him. But it's his biggest swing. I think that he's given. I think he's like mostly given full control of this team up to the competitive balance tax, and then okay, if we're gonna have go over, let's have a conversation, which is not unnormal. Like that's something that every owner does for the most part. So I don't think that that's crazy. I don't think he's built a great squad. Like the last 2 seasons too. Like you see like the roster at the beginning of the year, you're like, why didn't you add more depth to this team? Like, why don't you have a couple of guys on your bench who are pretty good? In each of the last 2 deadlines, it's like, okay, we got to shore up our bench. Why not do that in the offseason?
Yeah.
And I understand you had the injuries this year, so that threw a wrinkle in the whole thing. But at the beginning of the season, you weren't like, yeah, this is a complete team. Also, like, I mean, you can even throw the Josh Hader contract into this, too. Josh Hader, first year was kind of so-so. This last year was really good up until the injury, obviously. I don't believe in big money, especially for that term, that long term for relievers. I just fundamentally don't believe in that. So, I mean, that's $18 million. Christian Walker's $20. So he had almost $40 million at his disposal, and he spent it on a first baseman who was below average this year. And then last year he spent it on a back-of-the-rotation reliever who wasn't good in his first season. Like, I don't think that he has really done a great job building the roster. I just don't. Like, I don't have faith in him either to build this complete team. And part of it was the end of season press conference or whatever, because the Astros are going to have somewhere around $30 million to spend in free agency. The first thing he mentions is a left-handed bat.
He's talking about that for 3 years now.
Like that's not priority number one here, Dana Brown. You have a couple of left-handed bats. We don't love them. Jesus Sanchez, but he's a 775 career OPS against righties. Like that plays. Zach Cole, small sample. Can he sustain that over his whole career? Who knows? But if I have $30 million to spend, I'm not spending $20 million of it on a left-handed bat when I need pitching. So he just doesn't give me the faith of like, okay, he's going to build this roster that's going to be super competitive. You know who did do that? Jeff Luhnow and James Click.
Yeah, I think if they would have moved on from both of them, I would have been fine with it, Jeremy, honestly. The result here is not surprising to me, but I would have been open to moving on from both these guys and starting new. Because I think that for Dana Brown, the question is when you talk about confidence, is as this team goes in the direction they're heading right now, is do you believe in him to rebuild the Houston Astros and to rebuild them to where they can stay competitive the whole time? Well, that's not something really Atlanta ever really did. Like he doesn't have anything in his track record, to your point, to point to those signs. And he's been talking about the left-handed bat, and he's been talking about starting pitching for 3 years now, and he never adds to it. And he adds guys that are typically rentals, like you say, Kikuchi. He traded for Kikuchi because it was so important at the deadline last year, and then he didn't replace him. Like he didn't even replace him. So I don't quite understand those moves either. I would have preferred, honestly, both of them to be gone, but yeah. I probably would have picked the Espada. Maybe I'm nitpicking here, but it's the corny stuff that like from my perspective, I can't imagine that goes over well. The Cam Smith stuff, the way they announced the All-Stars. I thought it was all weird. I thought it was all cheesy. I couldn't imagine playing for a guy like that if I was a professional athlete, so that's why I'm kind of anti-Espada. But I would have moved on from both of them. But that's not what they're doing.
Hey, look, to be completely fair, I would have too. Like, we're arguing the margin here. Like, generally speaking, I think we both move on from the tandem and bring in a completely new duo. just which of the two would I rather be replaced. And part of it's because I think the general manager is the most important part, like the most important position of an organization. Like the general manager is so critical. It is so important. So I rather have a middle of the pack manager than a middle of the pack general manager, because I can get by with a middle of the pack manager. You have a middle of the pack general manager, it's going to hurt you this year, it's going to hurt you in 3 years, it's going to hurt you in 10 years. That's how critical that position is. So that's probably why I have that thought. He just doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in me. He seems kind of average.
Yeah, my biggest hope now is that we don't hear anything about extensions for these guys. You know, if Dana Brown, his option gets picked up, it better be a lame duck year for him. There should not be an extension handed out until after next season is over. You know, even if they have a really good regular season, because the way we saw this one end, you can't extend him in the middle of the year. You have to let the entirety of 2026 play out before you make a contract decision about Dana Brown. That would be, to me, would be a huge mistake to, in this moment now, say, yes, this is someone we want to sign for another 4 years or however long a GM contract is going to be. That is the one thing that can't be the follow-up to the story.
No. I trust Crane that he wouldn't do it because he fired a general manager who won a World Series.
Yeah.
So I trust he wouldn't extend him. And also, like, what's the demand? Like, is there demand in baseball for Dana Brown? No. Is there demand in baseball for Joe Espada? No. So, yeah, absolutely don't extend him. Next year needs to be make or break for both guys. I agree.